Okay, here's the Worm Factory 360. We're going to do a little worm farm here. Um, the uh, the worm castings are great. I bought them in a bag over the past few years, and the plants love it. It's like the best fertilizer, natural. So anyway, I decided to keep buying it. I figure I'm gonna get some worms and make my own. Now the way that this works, I'm sure everyone, if you're watching this video, you already know how they work. But here's the kind of the idea of the setup. You have your different levels. You feed the top level, and then the worms from the bottom level will kind of make their way up, and then eventually the bottommost level is where all the worm castings are. I'm gonna make a sifter just to make sure that I do get all the worms out, but that'll be a later video. I'm doing things a little bit different than what they're going to, what they kind of suggest. And what I have is saw another. Maybe I'll post a link to the person's video, but they have what they call like an inoculating tray, and this is where you're kind of getting ready for the next tray. So after this one's all full, and it's ready to be kind of put to the next level, and then have the worms kind of move up to that level, so that you can harvest these castings after 60 days or whatever it is. This kind of goes to the bottom. You have two trays of this, and it's literally just the paper scraps. I had a bunch of actual papers, but going forward it's going to be cardboard, and then this kind of gets moistened just from whatever you're kind of putting into the tray. The water kind of, whatever it is, kind of drips down and gets that one ready to go. So you see the trays, there's let's see, so that's going to sit on top of that. All right, this is the top, so it kind of sits like that, and there's holes, whole bunch of little holes. The worms will kind of go through that to each level. Hopefully when you do it right, they're going to come from the bottom level to the top level that you're feeding. Top goes on that, and then I'll put this over here underneath the whole thing. On the very bottom level, you have this. They call it the worm ladder, which is this little tray. I guess if the worms come down here, then they get back up, and then you have this here is a drain for if water if you overwater it, you really screw up. This drain here, you'll fill it up, and then it can drain out. You should never have that much water in this thing. I've seen some videos where they're starting it and they're putting a hose on it, and then everything kind of gets really too wet and not good for the worms or your soil. So this worm ladder goes in like so. This valve, this is always open to let air come in. I think I'm going to maybe put some kind of screen on here, so just that things can't crawl into it or out of it. And then they just kind of say, do that, and they just say put a leave it open and maybe put something underneath it, so if it does drip, you come out. But it would have to fill up a lot. That's pretty tall before it actually gets to that drain. So I don't know how effective that thing's going to be. Anyways, and then we have our, let's see, put this tray here. You have this tray going on. That's going to be the inoculating tray, and this is the tray that we're going to feed. And that's how it sits. And then what I'm going to do eventually, when these guys are ready, I'm going to have another. So you have two inoculating trays, and then the one that is kind of getting ready for to be harvested, and then your tray on top. So as far as like quality, so these Worm Factory 360, customer service is great. I contacted them. They're in the States. I'll show you what happened here. So these fit, they're nice together. They actually, they go down. It comes with 4, and that's the reason I took this, because some of them come with 3, and I do want to have 2 inoculating trays, and then your working tray, and then your actual one that you're about to harvest. All the other ones come with 3, and I like the fact this is a nice little square. Some of them are a bit longer and take up more room. But something's going on with their casting process. You see there's a huge gap here, and that means that some of them don't fit together. Like this here, see how it doesn't want to go down? You have to actually push it to go down. And this one's not too bad, but this one here is so bad you can't even, separate them. So, and then you can see it's, I don't know, it's tough to see on the camera though, but they're fairly wavy, so they don't really, they took it out maybe when it was too, out of the molding, when it was too, too warm, and then it kind of moves. So anyways, they sent me new ones The new ones are a bit better. You know, they fit pretty much like that. They come up good. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I don't know if that's going to affect anything. But just kind of when I did read a review that someone else did the same kind of thing. So, but they corrected it, and we'll see how it goes. So, anyways, what I'm doing is going to have at the bottom of this. Well, when you're making your inoculating tray, this one here, if you're going to do the way I do, you have your paper at the bottom, and that kind of keeps, you know, whatever moisture is going to be in here to, you know, help keep things moist. And then here, just the worms are going to eat through this. They're going to end up, you know, going all over, up and down and exploring and stuff. But for right now, I'm just going to have this on top. And then we're mixing our, to get a bag, and it's half a bag. Take half a bag of the cocoa coir, and then you're wetting it. I'm going to wet this a bit too much, but you want to be able to do it so that it's, when you squeeze it, let's see here, just a few, you know, a little bit of drops. I have to squeeze really hard for that. So that's the wetness that you want. Okay, and then with that, we're going to take a half a bag of the pumice. Now this stuff I haven't seen anyone else really use, but we're going to put it in there just, I guess, to create some air spaces and stuff. And, you know, you want aerobic, not anaerobic. So anyways, I'm going to take half a bag of that, put it in there. Then they give you some newspaper scraps. So that's going to take half a bag of that. And then you take 1 cup, one tablespoon of this rock dust. And I'm going to assume that's their grit. I was going to use some ground up eggshells for the grit, but the worms need grit to eat. And then also in this, yeah, they give you a piece of cardboard. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Maybe it's in the instructions. Anyways, and then they give you a nice little sifter, which is cool to kind of dig into the, you know, to get, you know, dig into the worms for your feeding zone, I guess. And then they give you the scraper. Not sure what that's going to be used for. And then also I like, you know, so they give you a lot of things for this. It's like a full kit. They give you this sifter that allows you to kind of separate the whatever content. You kind of shake it up, and then those holes will allow whatever you're going to, you know, allow out. And then here is the thermometer. So they have a, it's pretty cool if you can see it. They give you the different zones. So, you know, you want to be in the yellow zone. I guess blue zone is too cold, and then the red zone, it's too hot. We're in the garage right now. It's April, well, almost May. So it's going to get a bit warmer here. I'm going to have to kind of keep an eye on what the, you know, what temperature is. So I'll just leave that in the bin. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so you get a lot of stuff. We'll see if it's, if the way the side's kind of made is worth it. But right now, let's get mixing. And then you save the other half of the coir and all that stuff when you start your next tray. We have an inoculating tray, so I don't know, I might mix some of that in there. Anyways, but they get you set up, which is nice. You pretty much, and then the worms we got from someplace, they were just delivered today, and we'll get to that. So anyways, the lid is kind of nice. They give you the, it's a nice, what you can eat and kind of know what not to. Bin management. You know, they want fiber. 1 pound of worms needs a half pound of food per day. Avoid overfeeding. Overfeeding is like the worst thing you could do for these things. And then when you first get them, you have to start out small. I'm just going to feed them a little bit and then see how they like that, because they're not too happy. They've been, you know, put in a little small container and then kind of shipped out to me. So they got to get accustomed. So let's do that. So let's get all the stuff ready, and then we'll dump it in. So I got it a little bit wrong. So it's the whole bag of this goes into the cocoa coir. So we'll mix that in. Kind of put that all. All right, should have used a bigger bowl, because I don't know how this is gonna mix up. Might just have to mix it in the thing here. Yeah, not really mixing that great. So I guess we're gonna do that, and then it's half the bag of the pumice. So I kind of grabbed it like this. I'm gonna take the bag, close off that part, and then I guess we're gonna dump. Come on, there we go. This into here. And then the rock dust is 1 tablespoon, I believe. Let me double check here. Yeah, 1 tablespoon. So this is the grit. I guess I'll get in there. Good enough. Kind of mix that in. And then you have to mix this up. And then get it ready for the worm. So, gonna need 2 hands here. We'll go on to the next step of this thing. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like when it's mixed up. I don't know that it's damp, but it's not wet. I know the worm's like, moist wet. And it's also not a lot. So, then it also says to use 2. I might add a bit of water, maybe spray it or something. But anyways, it says to use 2 cups of actual soil, and then that's it. So I think I'm gonna get a spray bottle, kind of moisten this down a little bit. I know I don't want it too wet, but it's not like the choir was wet. I don't know. Might just leave it and see how it goes after a day. So anyways, because the soil is going to be a little bit dry too. So anyways, I'm going to go grab 2 cups of soil, and then we're back. We got about 2 cups of soil. Now I know the worms are going to have some soil in it too, so kind of mix this up as well. It does feel fairly damp, so maybe that's good. I guess we'll do that. And now we're going to have the feeding. Make our feeding lane here. All right, and then for the first meal, we're going to have so these are right out of the freezer, so they're going to thaw pretty quick. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these strawberry tops. They're going to love them. And then we'll bury that nice. Alright, so now, time for the worms. I gotta get the... Okay, so here is the half a pound of worms. I'm told there should be 500. They're all in there, and then 250 cocoons. So we're going to, there's a instructions. And then Mother Worms is, they send you a sticker, is where I got it from. And then they give you bedding tips. Okay, here we go. Release the worms. They got their food. They're open. Let's see if they're all going to come out of here. Here they go. Is that it? No worms left inside. Oh, there's one. There's a little guy in there. Alright, he's out. Okay, there we go. 500 worms. Hopefully going to be enjoying their new food soon. And their new home. So now we're told to leave the light, keep the box uncovered because they hate the light. So they're already going to try to scramble and dig down. So there we go. And we'll just leave it open. Oh, there's a whole bunch in here. Look at that. Looks like there's some kind of food here already for them. So they're good. All right. Last thing is you have the cover. Well, I guess you put this here to kind of keep the moisture level in there. That kind of sits like that. But for the first 24 hours, you leave the cover off. The cover fits on here nice. You leave the cover off, and hopefully they don't try to escape. Then we're good. I did go and spray the bedding a bit more, so it is more damp. So we'll see. All right, they're gonna find their spot, and that's it. Okay, here we are after about 5 minutes. Should have done a time lapse, but all the worms kind of dug down, found a nice spot, or they're exploring, I assume. And the temperature's a little bit cool, so I might have to, we'll see how it goes. I might have to come and put a little bit of a heater on. It's a little bit cold in the garage. So, see how that goes. Anyways, I'll leave the cover off for 2 days, and then at the end of the week, I'm gonna start a little kind of a calendar journal. When I fed them and stuff, we'll check and see how much of the food is eaten, and then feed them again. So let's go from there. Like and subscribe.